Breaking news that could change everything for millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet in 2025. A game-changing announcement just dropped about Social Security benefits, and it's not just your regular cost of living adjustment. We're talking about a special 3% raise on top of the regular increase, plus a one-time makeup payment of $1,400 for qualifying recipients. But here's the kicker. Not everyone will get this money, and there's a crucial deadline you need to know about. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly who qualifies, how to make sure you don't miss out, and most importantly, when you can expect to see this money hit your account. The details might surprise you, especially about a little-known provision that could double your benefits if you act fast enough. Before we dive into these life-changing details, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Now, let's get into the meat of this massive development that's sending shockwaves through the Social Security community. This isn't just another routine adjustment. It's a direct response to the unprecedented inflation and economic challenges that millions of Americans have been facing. The 3% supplemental increase comes after months of intense pressure from advocacy groups and a groundbreaking congressional study that revealed many seniors were falling dangerously behind on basic living expenses. But here's what makes this different from any previous Social Security increase. It's retroactive. Yes, you heard that right. The government is essentially admitting that previous adjustments weren't enough to keep up with real-world price increases. That's where the $1,400 makeup payment comes in. It's designed to bridge the gap between what recipients should have received and what they actually got during the past 18 months. Think about what this could mean for the average Social Security recipient. Let's say you're currently receiving $1,800 monthly in benefits. The 3% raise would add $54 to your monthly check. But that's not all. You'd also get that one-time $1,400 payment, which is like getting more than 2 extra monthly payments in one shot. For many Americans living on fixed incomes, this could be the difference between choosing between medications and groceries or being able to afford both. But here's where things get interesting and why you need to pay close attention. Not everyone who receives Social Security will automatically qualify for both the 3% raise and the makeup payment. The government has established specific criteria, and this is where many people might accidentally leave money on the table if they're not careful. First, let's talk about who's definitely getting the 3% raise. If you're receiving regular Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability insurance, SSDI or supplemental security income, SSI, you're likely in line for the 3% increase. However, the $1,400 makeup payment has additional requirements that might surprise you. To qualify for the full $1,400 payment, you need to have been receiving benefits for at least 12 months prior to January 2025. But here's something many people don't realize: if you started receiving benefits more recently, you might still be eligible for a prorated portion of the payment. For example, if you've been receiving benefits for 6 months, you could still qualify for $700. There's also an income threshold requirement that's causing quite a bit of confusion. Unlike previous stimulus payments or Social Security adjustments, this one takes into account your total household income from 2024, not just your Social Security benefits. For single individuals, the full payment phases out starting at $75,000 in adjusted gross income. For married couples filing jointly, that threshold begins at $150,000. But don't worry, if you're above these thresholds, you might still qualify for a partial payment. The real question is, how do you make sure you get every dollar you're entitled to? That's what I'm going to explain next, and it involves a few crucial steps you need to take. One of the most overlooked aspects of this new benefit increase is the verification requirement. The Social Security Administration is asking recipients to verify their contact information and preferred payment method through their online portal. This might seem like a small detail, but it's crucial. Those who don't complete this verification by the deadline could face delays in receiving their makeup payment. Now, let's talk about timing, because this is where things get really interesting. The 3% raise will be reflected in benefits starting January 2026, but the $1,400 makeup payment is scheduled to begin rolling out much sooner. The distribution will happen in waves based on the last 2 digits of your Social Security number. This is crucial information that could affect when you see the money in your account. But here's something that's not being widely reported. there's a special provision for certain beneficiaries that could actually increase their makeup payment beyond $1,400. This applies to people who fall into specific categories, including those who receive both Social Security retirement benefits and SSI, as well as certain disabled veterans. I've been diving deep into the official documents, and I've discovered something that many financial advisors are missing. There's a little-known clause that allows for an additional adjustment for beneficiaries who can demonstrate exceptional financial hardship during the past year. This isn't being widely publicized, but it could make a significant difference for those who qualify. Let's talk about what this means for different types of beneficiaries, because the impact varies significantly depending on your situation. For retired workers, this is pretty straightforward. You'll see both the 3% increase and, if you qualify, the makeup payment. But for disability beneficiaries, there's an additional layer of complexity that could work in your favor. Here's something fascinating that most people don't realize. This adjustment also affects how your benefits will be calculated going forward. It's not just about the immediate increase in one-time payment. The 3% raise becomes part of your base benefit amount, which means it will compound with future cost of living adjustments. Over time, this could add up to thousands of additional dollars in benefits. But there's a catch that you need to be aware of. If you're still working while receiving Social Security benefits, the earnings limit rules still apply. The 3% increase could affect how close you are to these limits, and it's essential to understand how this might impact your overall benefits. This brings us to another critical point that's causing some confusion: how this affects Medicare premiums. The good news is that the Social Security Administration has confirmed that this special increase won't be offset by any Medicare premium adjustments. This is huge, because it means recipients get to keep the full amount of the increase. Now, let's address something that's been causing anxiety for many beneficiaries. What happens if you receive other forms of government assistance? Will this increase affect your eligibility for programs like SNAP benefits or housing assistance? I've done the research, and I can tell you exactly how this will impact other benefits. The most important thing to understand is that the $1,400 makeup payment is being classified differently than regular Social Security benefits. It's being treated similarly to how stimulus payments were handled, which means it won't count as income for the purpose of determining eligibility for other assistance programs. This is crucial information that could save you from unnecessarily declining benefits you're entitled to receive. But here's where timing becomes critical. The Social Security Administration has announced a specific window for processing these changes, and if you miss certain deadlines, it could affect when you receive your increase and makeup payment. I'm going to break down these deadlines and explain exactly what you need to do to ensure you don't experience any delays. One aspect that's particularly interesting is how this affects people who are just about to start receiving Social Security benefits. If you're planning to claim benefits in the next few months, the timing of your application could significantly impact whether you qualify for the makeup payment. This is where strategic planning becomes crucial. Let's talk about what you need to do right now to prepare for these changes. First, make sure your contact information is up to date with the Social Security Administration. This seems basic, but it's crucial for receiving any necessary verification forms or updates about your payment status. Second, if you haven't already, create an account on the Social Security Administration's website. This will be essential for tracking your payments and completing any required verifications. But perhaps the most important action item is to gather documentation of any exceptional financial hardship you've experienced in the past year. Remember that special provision I mentioned earlier? Having this documentation ready could make a significant difference in your benefit adjustment. Now, let me share something that might surprise you. There's a lesser-known aspect of this increase that affects survivors' benefits and dependent benefits differently than regular retirement benefits. The calculations here are complex, but understanding them could mean additional money for your family members. As we wrap up this important update, let's quickly recap the key points you need to remember. The 3% raise is coming for most Social Security recipients starting in January 2026. The $1,400 makeup payment will be distributed based on your Social Security number, with specific eligibility requirements based on your income and benefit history. There are special provisions for certain beneficiaries that could increase the payment amount, and the verification process is crucial for receiving your payments on time. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this significant development. How will this increase affect your financial situation? Are you eligible for both the raise and the makeup payment? Share your experience in the comments below. Your insight could help other viewers understand how these changes might affect them. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this information helpful, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest Social Security news and benefit changes. I'll be following this story closely and will update you as soon as any new details emerge about the implementation of these increases. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.